New CPI data report was just released, and I'm going to be here to break it down. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. The NASDAQ market absolutely tanked when the CPI data report came in. And why? Why did it tank? Well, if you actually watched my live stream, I actually hosted a free live stream on YouTube watching the market react to the CPI data report. I am so grateful that we simply prepared and we managed our position size. Was I in TQs? Was I in SQs? I did not have a position when the report was released. This allowed me to have cash available, so when the opportunity presented itself, and I did this within that live session, I bought the dip, I added more to it with my live trading session with my Learn Plan Profit group, and I made $34,000, 500 on the day, even when the NASDAQ market was down. Just so you can see, I don't have an open, I guess I have one share. I have one share in SQQQ. It is so important to always prepare for worst case scenario. It sold off. I didn't have to be invested in a position during that CPI data report. But once it began to establish its support level, once we got confirmation, that's when the fun began. That's when we stepped on the gas and we played it so well, right? So what was the CPI data report? Again, it came in hotter than expected. The expectation was to see an increase of 0.2%. If we go here to bls.gov, again, you guys can do this yourself. You guys can go to this website. This is bls.gov. This is where the actual CPI data report is released. We can see that overall CPI came in with an expectation, which was 8.1%, but it came in at 8.2% for the seasonal adjustment for the past 12 months. We were previously at 8.3. And then now we're at 8.2. So if we saw a decrease, why is the market dropping? It's because of two things. First, it's still higher than expected. So 8.2 is still higher than the 8.1 that market was accepting. The second thing is it's core CPI. Core CPI came in much higher than expected. The expectation was to see an increase of 0.4%. We saw an increase of 0.6%. For core CPI. Core CPI, for those that are not aware, is everything excluding food and energy. And I'll explain that in just a little bit. So our actual core CPI from 6.3% of last month came in at 6.6% of this month, way higher than expected. Now, why is that a bad thing? I mean, it's just a 0.3% increase. Remember, guys, it's all about how the Federal Reserve sees it. If they see that core CPI, which is considered the only area of the CPI that they can actually influence by raising interest rates, if they see that not actually slowing down, if they don't see inflation dropping month after month, this will only allow them to justify a larger interest rate hike. This is why the market is selling off, not because of who cares about these CPI data reports. This was of last month, but it's how the Federal Reserve will use this information for their next decision of their interest rate hike. Will they do 0.75%? Well, if CPI came in lower than expected, they could have justified maybe a lower interest rate hike. But because CPI came in higher than expected, they can maybe justify a larger interest rate hike. And remember, raising interest rates is not an attractive thing for the overall economy. It simply makes it more expensive to borrow money. And this is why we're seeing that drop on that market today. So it's actually very simple to read all of this. These are all of the line items, is what I like to call it, that are being reported on every single month. So this report comes out month after month. You guys could see March, April, May, June, July, August, and the one that was just released was September. So what it's calculating is from the month of August to the month of September for this line item, food, did prices go up or did prices go down, right? So we can see that for food, we saw an increase of 0.8%. For food away from home, we saw an increase of 0.7%. Food away from home, 0.9%. When it comes down to energy, we saw a decrease of 2.1%. Then we saw a decrease of gasoline of 4.7%, a decrease of 4.9%, a decrease of 2.1%. The largest increase that I saw on the CPI data report was this, and it was actually all items less food and energy. And it was actually, I think it was like 1.9%, and that was transportation services. That is what saw the biggest jump or biggest rate of inflation for the month of August to the month of September. So again, this is why the market is reacting the way that it is. It's understanding the domino effect. Now, One thing that I do want to point out, and hopefully you don't have to quote me on this, but people are asking, well, can things get worse? Do you guys remember about a week to 2 weeks ago, OPEC announced that they are slowing down and cutting back on oil production by 2 million barrels a day. Now, again, the biggest area that has seen inflation is the energy sector. So what do you think is going to happen that if OPEC, one of the world's largest producers of oil and energy, if they slow down production and demand stays the same when inflation is already this high, if they slow down production, then prices will most likely go up. And if prices continue to go up, then guess what do you think is going to happen? When these CPI data reports, maybe not next month, but the month after that, oil can come in higher than expected. And this is what's the unfortunate part where, the markets can eventually end up getting worse. And that's kind of what I'm going to be keeping a close eye on, is asking the question is, are we seeing gasoline and energy prices rising? And if so, that should be of concern for the up and coming CPI data reports. But overall, as of right now, I'm staying cash. I only have one share here, and I'm excited to see which way the market ends up going. Just wanted to show you guys, again, it doesn't matter if the market is bullish or bearish. One thing that we always focus on is there's always money to be made. My success does not take away from yours, and vice versa. Your success does not take away from mine. There's always money to be made, especially with the way that I trade and these specific ETFs. If the market goes up, then I go into TQs. If the market goes down, then I go into SQs. It's a very simple way of trading. I like to keep my trading simple. I don't know about you, but if you're tired of overcomplicating your trading, again, you've heard me talk about them before. I trade live with them every single day. They get to see my entries, they get to see my exits, but most importantly, they get to hear my thought process of why I'm buying, of why I'm selling, and I get to answer all of these questions in real time. I don't do this once a week, I don't do this once a month, I do this every single day the market's open. It's exclusive to my Learn Plan Profit Group, and again, if you're ready to join and you've been waiting for a huge discount, that's going to be that second link down below if you're ready to join my LPP team and watch me trade live every single day, and even as soon as tomorrow by the time the market opens. I really do appreciate you guys' time. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, shoot me a direct message via Discord, and that's that first link in the description. Don't get FOMO with this market. Although the market is going up, again, there's never a bad time to stay green, and I'm so grateful that even during a bear market, we have the skills in place to know how to make money. And the simple question I leave you with is, do you? And if you don't yet, right, we all start knowing nothing. But it's about how you end that matters. So I'm excited to be a part of your success. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop a thumbs up. And again, if you join my Learn Plan Profit Group, the second link down below, I will see you tomorrow at Market Open for our live trading session. Make sure you pick up your free trading journal, and that's that fourth link in the description. We're giving one away with every single order today. Just add it to your cart. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.